Way, which is helping people cosplay their way and encouraging individuals to ward off naysayers and choose desired characters regardless of race, size, or gender and experience. I constantly go out to talk to people and have events where I help bring new cosplayers into cosplay. I want people to stop telling people why they can't cosplay or trying to stop them from doing that. And I'm actively fighting that stigma because cosplay is fun and it should stay fun. And that's what I aim to do, and I'm going to do it until my dying breath. And hopefully you guys are all on board with that as well.
I cosplay myself. I got into it because I started working with the Heroes Alliance of Georgia, woohoo, and right. And when I remember the first time I went to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta with a few of the cosplayers and seeing the looks on kids' faces, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I think I need to cosplay, right? and I was looking, and then one of the big things, the reason why I cosplay as Green Lantern is because I wanted to have a black representation for like the young black kids in there. And I love Jabbar. He's always cosplay your way, do anything. I like to stick to canon, so I try to cosplay characters I look like. And I remember one funny story, and my buddy Michael could talk about this too, where we were both at a event as Green Lantern, and one of the kids looked at us and was like, "Why is Green Lantern white?" He was like, because he knew Green Lantern from the Justice League cartoon. So that just showed like, okay, this is a good representation. So that's why I cosplay, and the reason why I take cosplay pictures is because I think cosplay is awesome.
I started back in 2008. I've told this story because it's a true story. My husband had been going to DragonCon before me, and he came home, and he was like, "Babe, I was at DragonCon, and I was noticing that a lot of guys, my friends, they were bringing their hot wives to come in costume."
So you're hot wife costume.
And I was thinking, I'm a hot wife, so he asked me to come back in 2008. And
I'm gonna add that.
So I started back in 2008, and it was really, at first I was excited, and then the excitement as it got closer to DragonCon became, I was nervous and apprehensive, and I didn't want to do it because I was cosplaying two characters that were completely out of my comfort zone. It was Chun-Li from Street Fighter and Rogue from X-Men, and me being a black woman cosplaying as an Asian character and a white character, I was like, they're not going to want to take my picture, I don't want to do it, so I cosplay everything, video games, comic book, and I'm doing a cosplay right now as Wonder Woman.
Well, I think she gave us a new phrase, hot white cosplay.
Hey!
Yes! I like that one.
Me, when I did my Rogue cosplay from X-Men, I was at MegaCon in Florida, and I was walking with a friend of mine, and someone yelled to me, "Rogue isn't black!" And I turned around. I had never experienced that, and it kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, wow, okay, dude, I know Rogue isn't black, but I'm wearing the damn costume, so it is what it is,
You tell them to say it to your face?
No, actually, my friend, I don't want to I hate to be like black and white, but my friend, she's a white woman, and she was like, she can cosplay as you. I was like, dude, calm down. She had more of an attitude than I did, and I was like, okay, calm down, it's okay. But that was my first experience with someone actually saying something to me in costume, because before I wore Rogue at DragonCon, and no one said anything. They took my pictures, no big deal, but I had someone yell that to me, and it was just like, wow. So after that convention, I started getting messages on Facebook. You know how you get the new friend requests and all that. They were sending me messages like, "Oh my God, thank you for cosplaying Rogue." I'm like, why are you thanking me? And then as I continued to read, these black women were like, I always did Storm. I was scared to do it, blah, blah, blah. You cosplayed as something else. And I'm just like, they were thanking me. And I was like, that's when I realized I kind of pushed this thing and this boundary, because a lot of black women weren't cosplaying outside of black characters, which would limit us tremendously. So.
Okay, so let's do this. So how much, so all of us, your most inexpensive cosplay that actually got you rave reviews. And I'll start off, I put Larry up here. because he wanted to be Cage. One year he was like, I'm going to Dragon Con, and he was like, what am I going to do? Because he started putting his costume together like 5 hours before we were supposed to get there. And I said, well, you're tall. You know, I went through the can. I went on the cannon road like Drew. I said, you're tall, we might could do Cage. So I was like, put on some tight jeans, here's some boots. I bought him a chain. And I was like, well, I hope people know you're Cage, so let me just get some iron on it, iron, C-A-G-E on a t-shirt, just in case it was questionable. He put it on. Walter, the rest of us had worked on our costumes for like a month or 2 months, a couple of months. Larry is the only one people loved at the con. We were all nothing. Walter had lights coming out of his costume and stuff. I had all this stuff. I had worked with my glam squad. My wig was popping. Everything was looking good. Nobody cared. They said, so this year, I think he did Nick Fury. I gave him a Nick Fury badge. He did Cage and Nick Fury, and he just killed it. And everything probably cost $60 to pull it together. But tell us about some of your most cost-effective cosplays that's gotten you great reviews that make you even look at yourself like, why did I put so much money into this? I got it.
I think my cheapest costume was probably my very first Red She-Hulk costume. We literally went to a costume superstore or something, bought like a cat suit, and we ripped it up and everything, and then my husband did the body paint. You guys are not gonna be able to see this, but that's pretty much what you see.
Well, I think
Do you have a picture
I
of
have
that?
a picture of you coming out.
Yeah, so it was like literally a cat suit that I bought. I think it was like $30, $40, and we had ripped it up because we were doing the Red She-Hulk where she had the ripped up costume. So that costume, and then the boots I had in my closet. So it's just like, okay.
So it's a prime example. You can come out the closet, you can piecemeal, you can cosplay replay for you. It's just replaying some stuff, taking some pieces and putting it with other pieces.
Yeah.
The prepackaged cosplay, of course, is going to the Party City and stuff. But if you put those pieces together with other things, it can look really good. You know, people that do Superboy get away with a lot because it's really just a t-shirt. And some jeans. And some jeans. So that's a really quick cosplay if you're trying to do it. Thrift stores, like you mentioned before, are amazing. eBay sells great stuff. And make it yourself if you have that skill set. Purchased my first Bishop costume off of eBay from some unknown place, I don't know where. Loved it. Couldn't wear it the first year because it was late. Put it on the second year, and I was looking good, I thought. Pants split completely in the center, and just my butt was completely out. I don't know. I think the pants disintegrated.
Was that before or during the con?
It was during the con in the food court at Dragon Con.
And
that's when
he texted me
and I
and
texted
said,
her.
he was like, oh my God, these cheap ass pants split. And I was like, really?
And interestingly enough, that's when everybody wanted to take a photo. So I'm posing, like it's a stick, like so I'm posing like this, and they're like, why are you posing? I'm just trying to make it back to the room to get to it. Walter and Larry, everybody's body was there, covering my butt. I was just like, oh my God. So I had to remix my costume. Luckily I had some leather pants, and that's when I came up with my newer Bishop look. It wasn't planned. My original Bishop look was something else, but it fell apart.
I got a story that might make you feel better. I recently did Cottonmouth from Netflix, Luke Cage, and that by the way was another closet one. The only thing I had to buy was the crown for it, because I was like, nobody's gonna know who I am if I just walk in there with slacks and a vest and a tie. So I figured, he's always in front of that Biggie poster, so let me go get a crown. And I borrowed a fake rocket launcher from a friend, and I figured nobody but the people who were at the shoot were gonna know what it was. But everybody knew. I mean, not everybody, but enough people to make me like, dang, okay, y'all got that? All right, cool. But the pants that I got, I originally was just gonna wear some black jeans, and my black slacks were, I didn't know where they were. I found another pair, and I didn't realize why I couldn't find them before. I didn't realize till I got there that the fly was broken. So the whole time all of this, fortunately I had my underwear was black, so if you were to see it, you wouldn't have seen anything crazy. But I was able to get around that by every time somebody wanted to take a picture, I just put the bazooka right here. The
bazooka in front of the bazooka. See what I did there?
Yeah, but nobody knew. I got away with it. You're saying like half the people that show up at the con, you wouldn't cast them for that part because of that. Reminds me of something I've had to say to a lot of my geeky friends who are not cosplayers. Like they'll look at a picture of somebody that I posted and they'll say, heck, even my family, like I don't know if you guys know who Monster Mash is, that he does the movie version of Wolverine, and dude is jacked. Like he's almost like the spitting image of Hugh Jackman. And I'm showing those pictures of him to like my mom who loves Wolverine and X-Men. I'm showing to my wife's aunt and uncle. All three of them said, he's too small to be Wolverine. I'm like, what the fuck? I look at this guy and I think body goals, and you guys are telling me he doesn't look big enough. So what I've had to tell a lot of people is cosplay is not a movie audition. All right, you do not have to look like the person. You don't have to be the same gender. You don't have to be the same race. You don't have to be the same body type. I know I probably mentioned before, I forgot your name, but like just like you said, if you're doing it for charity, if you're doing it for kids, you kind of have to look the part. You're doing it for the con, you're doing it for you. Do you? But I had to tell that to people. A lot of people outside of cosplay think, oh, you can't pull that off, which I hate that phrase. I'm like, if you're happy with it, you pulled it off. Right. It don't matter if you look
and
like
keep
it.
in mind, looking the part is ever evolving.
Yeah.